Ooh, it's got a little castle hat. Welcome to Map Crow, the RPG art show. My name is Kyle, and today we're drawing a new dragon for Monstrous. The Kickstarter campaign for Monstrous is almost halfway over, and we are well on our way to hitting our funding goal. And if you haven't seen our announcements about it anywhere else, we have opened up international shipping for backers all over the world. We saw all of these comments from people who are really excited to show their support for Monstrous, but lived outside the US. So we reached out to a consultant and made a plan to make sure that we could ship this book to wherever you are. And because the campaign has been going so well, we've also added free prints and stickers to all physical reward levels. We've even added a dust jacket to the deluxe hardcover so that if you really like that barrow white image from the standard edition hardback, you can have it both ways. So the team and I thought it would be really fun to set everyone up with a brand new preview packet that shows off one of our dragon forms. The Fortress Dragon. Once a dragon layered in a fortress of stone. Under her rule, her subjects reinforced the walls with magic and blood. And from this fastness, she launched an assault on her draconic siblings. With each victory, she fed and grew within the fortress walls until she could no longer leave. So, wearing the castle as a raiment of a conqueror, she rose, lumbering forth to continue her campaign. But that was long ago. Her enemies are dead. Her servants are dead. All that remains is the crushing burden of the fortress. That's the bit of introductory lore that Kenny Webb, our designer, wrote for this Monstrous form. And if you haven't been following along with the campaign updates, you might not know that Kenny and I have launched a new podcast to talk about the design process for Monstrous, where we trade voicemail messages back and forth as we circle closer to the kinds of monsters that we want to put into this book. The point of designing all these different Monstrous forms and giving them all illustrations is not because we really expect people to use them, although, of course, you're welcome to. It is to show you the way that we use Monstrous, to have fun being creative with some old standard staple ham and egger monsters, and to show you that by thinking through how a monster fits into your story and what it wants to do to the world and the people in it, that is a much more fruitful place to think through new monster ideas than to, just rearrange different elemental damage types. Our pitch specifically for dragons is that though the world has moved on from the golden age when the dragon ruled, the dragon decidedly has not. Its vainglory over its fallen empire drives the dragon to accrue valuable objects that remind it of its bygone resplendence. Deep underground, the dragon dreams fitfully of the wealth it once possessed, wealth that it longs to possess again. The dragon seldom stirs, but if awakened, it will gladly raise a civilization, plunder its riches, and reign over the ashes. That's some more of Kenny's delicious writing. Maybe we should just do like an audiobook version of Monstrous at some point. I just love reading this book aloud so much. And even though Kenny and I seem to have a gravity that pulls us both towards dark fantasy and archaic writing styles, Amber just shot a video recently where they use Monstrous to make a gourmand dragon, a dragon that collects fancy foods. Because Monstrous is fiction first, we don't lock you into a certain kind of stat block or even like mechanical bias. We just give you the stuff that you need to think through monsters in your game. Well, we give you that, and a heck of a lot of illustrations, too. Going back to this fortress dragon, should it ever be roused from its sleep, it will crawl the earth and consume weapons and armor and siege engines and battlements and spit out a ruinous breath that corrodes the fortifications of mortals. And the only weakness that this dragon has, the only thing that can pierce its ancient hide, is the legendary battering ram damn hellhammer, which the dragon keeps in its hoard deep within its fortress on its back. That's a twofer right there. Not only do you get this sick, cool dragon to talk to and plead with, try to find out where it's keeping this battering ram, but then you get this dungeon dive that's on the back of the dragon. And if we wanted to stock the dungeon of the Fortress Dragon with other cool monsters, we could just turn the page of Monstrous and pick out some skeletons or mobs or brutes or chimera, or maybe a lich is the thing that's really in charge here. It's the thing that's driving this Fortress Dragon around. And the cool thing is, this could all just be a level 1 adventure. Heck, it could be a level 0 funnel. Honestly, I think that would work even better than having this Fortress Dragon be a high-level encounter. I think the play culture that surrounds games like 5th edition or Pathfinder assumes that if your character is of a certain level and you see a big monster, you'll be able to kill it in a straight-up fight. It would be all too tempting to deny the call to adventure, to crawl through this dungeon and deny the coolest things that are happening in this monster write-up. I think when we exclusively design and deploy monsters that are based around the assumption of balanced combat, we end up with the same old story, which is I use my big old spell or big old ability and kill a big old monster and level up so I get a bigger spell so I can kill a bigger monster, and it's just a linear progression of events. But when we start with the fiction first, we free ourselves from the shackles of challenge rating algebra. And of course, if you're running 5e in Pathfinder, you will get plenty of chance to do that, but you want to do that after you come up with your cool ideas and not let the Monster Manual challenge ratings decide what stories you can tell with the people that you're inviting into your game. So that's Monstrous. If you haven't seen the campaign page yet, go ahead and check that out. Take a look at some of the updates that we've already added, telling you how this project is getting better and better the more people that pledge to it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope I will be back soon to make a video all about random tables. And if that juicy little tease doesn't get you to subscribe to this channel, I don't know what will. Until next time, my friends, farewell. And welcome to the Aftercrow. I would just like to again extend my deepest thanks to all of those who have gone to patreon.com/mapcrow and pledged their support for the show. My friends at Cloud Curio and I have recently had some interesting discussions about maybe some other things to do with the Patreon moving forward, but that probably won't be until after Monstrous is completely fulfilled and shipped. But I tell you, working on this project, launching this campaign has been truly exciting, and it has been just a wonderful bonding experience for everybody on the team. I mean, we all loved working together already, and if anything, this has really crystallized that for everyone. And we almost can't help but talk about all the other projects that we want to work on after Monstrous. And but we got to eat our vegetables. You know, we got to finish what's on our plate first before we go back for seconds. But I'll tell you, if I could go back in time, give myself one piece of advice for this Kickstarter, it would be don't launch it on the first month of the semester because, oh man. But as soon as I find some time, there's going to be some really cool stuff hitting the Patreon for the Secret Sketchbook backers, so be looking forward to that, and I'll see you next time.